Hello, and welcome to Stretch Core and More. Take a moment, set up our workspace, make sure that we have arm's length distance apart, make sure that we have our materials, water bottle, possibly a mat, and then possibly any comfort pillows that we call props for anything. So let's take a moment, stand on up if you're not already standing. Let's stretch out the arms, stretching the fingers, rolling out the shoulders. It's very small arm circles. We'll take those arm circles going back. Last time we focused on a little bit of the core. This time we'll come back to a little bit of the more, just that single-legged standing balance. So let's work into our 10 huts. Our 10 huts. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Inhale, take the arms wide. Exhale. Bring it in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. About two more. All right. Working into some butt kickers. I do this every single class, no matter what. This is my daily dozen. I do about a dozen stretches every day, and I share them with everyone else. So let's get a few more butt kickers on each side. And then we'll go into some more. We'll focus on core. Getting an alternating march. Working our hip flexors in. Stretching out our lats. Reach a length out of your fingertips. Keep breathing. Get a couple more. All right, and then not so easy heel taps. Working our heel taps. Trying to bring that heel up to your hand, not bring your body down to the heel. And if you can't quite touch it, that's okay. Practice on getting more flexible. A lot of times people come to me and say, hey, Bart, I can't do yoga. I'm not flexible. The whole point of doing yoga is to get more flexible. And while this isn't yoga, some of our single-leg standing balance exercises are very yoga-esque. Let's work into our back extension, pulling our shoulders back, bringing our hands to our hips, lifting our chest, tight glutes, tight core, opening up the throat. Relaxing the chin, dropping right to your right, left to your left. Let's take a moment, turn and look out over our right shoulder, stretching our neck. Slowly working back through center, trying to look out over your left shoulder. Slowly coming back through center, stretching the left arm out, dropping right ear over towards the right shoulder, turning your eyes up to look out over the left corner of the ceiling. Slowly coming back through center, stretching right arm out, dropping left ear over, eyes up and to the right. Just a few breaths here. Working back through center. Let me drop the screen just a hair. All right. Working into our Romanian stretch where I bring my hands to my thighs. I push my hips back. I'm trying to space apart my backbones. So I'm trying to bring my skull further away from my hips. into some gentle rotation. Pivoting my back foot, rotating my waist, plant, pivot, turn, pivot, turn, pivot. Take those arms on the other side. Just a few more. Stepping out into a lunge, calf and oblique stretch. Pressing back on my right heel, stretching my calf. Taking my left hand to my left thigh. Right arm to the sky, opening up my obliques. Reaching length out of my fingertips. This is by far one of my favorite stretches. It works so well. It's multi centers of the body, so 3 different centers: hip flexor, calf, oblique. If you're a fan of saving time and doing less and making less more, then this is for you. Slowly working yourself out. Setting up for that other side. Pushing back on your left heel, stretching left arm overhead, right hand, right thigh. Stepping through. Roll out the wrists. Stretching the hands. Making a tight fist. All right. Getting into our single-legged standing balance exercises. We're going to start with just some gentle ankle circles. Now, I still can't quite see my feet, but if I lift up, you can see what I'm doing here. Gentle circles for the right ankle. Typically, I don't lift it quite that high. One technique some of my previous instructors would do was to instruct their students to write their name. That way, they're taking their ankle through all ranges of motion. All right, I just did first and last. I'm going to work the other side. Try and write my name in reverse. Ooh, that's hard. Now my foot has to think. Woo, that's tough. All right. So for our first single-legged standing balance, we're going to practice alternate grab quad stretch. So this would in effect be twisted dancer. Drop into it just a hair. Coming back to the center. Working that other side. Left foot, left arm, reach out. Find your balance. Focus your eyes. So focus your eyes. Coming back through center. Now we've been working a lot of these stretches in a variety of formats. The next stretch is cradle the baby. So in the cradle the baby, I might have hand on thigh. I typically default to hand on tibia, hand on leg. Now this is one place where we could take it. It's not quite as profound a stretch as if I was to have a push pull. And I'm going to take you through an even more challenging dimension of this stretch. We haven't participated in this time slot. So you can stay here. You can work more like a four square sit. We can practice taking this knee on top of the left thigh. A lot of rotation there. There's a lot happening. Moving my torso. It's not just about the leg. So now I'm in multiple planes of motion. I'm in rotation. And I'm in front to back. Still breathing, obviously. Trying to send oxygen to the muscles that I'm using. So in yoga, we say breathe into the muscles. And when we're stimulating a particular muscle group, it stands to reason that more blood flow would go to that area. And on that blood will be carried oxygen. We really are breathing into the muscles. Now let's switch sides. Seeing what you got. Not lamenting what we don't have. Remember, we have steps here. You can hold on to something if you need to hold on to something. Maybe pressing down into it. And then if you want to go with me, stacking knees, then possibly adding a little bit of that trunk rotation. Keep breathing. Carefully working out, working into our hurdler stretch. Now I'm reaching for the shin, pulling up. Now this one, it's like I'm trying to throw my knee over my shoulder. My left glute is squeezed tightly. I'm pulling in. Working it out. Getting into that other side now. Pulling it in. Squeezing tight. Carefully letting go. Stepping out into a straddle. I'm going to bring my forearms to my thighs. Putting pressure on my thighs the same way I would do in my Romanian. Now, I'm going to work into a twist. Now I'm pushing with solely left forearm, but I'm bracing with right wrist. As I turn to look up right. Slowly working back through center, switching sides. Stretching up. Stretching out. Stepping feet together. Now this next stretch, it's only slightly a balance. Sitting back on right heel, hinging my hips, right knee's bent. And I'm going to try something very challenging. I'm going to try working my right hand towards my left foot. So actively stretching my left knee, my calf muscles. Attempting to grab those toes. Breathing into my muscles. I'll come back. Switch sides. Coming back strong. All right, it's time to work into our core. Working ourselves down to the floor. Take a moment. Crisscross our ankles. Working on 3 seated windmills, first clockwise, inhaling up. Exhaling through. Inhaling up. Exhaling through. Inhale. Exhale. Stop. Counterclockwise. All right. Stretch out our wrists. Getting ready for our core exercises today. So our first core exercise is flutter feet. I can have hands back, forearms down, or I could balance, taking my legs up, down, because even for me, this requires my utmost concentration. I won't talk while I'm doing it. I'm going to perform 10 and 10. This is a demonstration. This is not a full workout. So I'm working 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! I feel that one in my hip flexors, feeling that 6 a.m. workout. One of my counter poses when we do hip dominant style core exercises is the butterfly. Butterfly is great when you're doing a hip dominant core exercise. Or even if you've been doing some lunges and squats, it's a great idea. Soles of the feet come together. I take my body carefully forward. I try not to hunch. I was doing kind of a bad example. This is much better, much better. All right. Next exercise is a reverse crunch. I've demonstrated this many times. I'll demonstrate it many more times because it's so much easier and safer than a regular crunch unless you have chronic lower back pain. So this one might not be for you, but if we try one leg at a time, it might work out. I'm going to advocate for 2 legs at a time. So I'm in a static crunch with the upper body, head and neck supported. I drop the feet, bring the knees in. And similar to our flutter feet, I'm going to need complete concentration. I'm going to perform 10 repetitions. Feel free to follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. All right. Our last core exercise of today is hip bridge. So I want to reach out and touch my heels, smoothing out the back of my shirt, smoothing out the back of my head, using my triceps to press my hips up. I'm going to drop my hips low, not all the way to the floor. Come back up. That will be our repetition scheme. We'll do another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull the knees in. Let's do a few gentle circles first, clockwise. Back, counterclockwise. Taking our legs up a wall, alternating circles with the feet. First all one direction, back the other direction. Walk on the ceiling. Shake it out. Lift the feet. Drop the feet, rolling like a ball. And then I'm going to invite you to practice straddle forward fold. It's hard to say what's easier, standing straddle or seated straddle. In this posture, I'm keeping my toes up. They're not bending down. I'm upright. Now, if you're already in trouble, we don't need to go through the whole thing, but I'll invite you to practice. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale. Working through. Relaxing the head and neck. And as you practice over time, the main point of this is to introduce you to these concepts, reinforce them, and provide steady guidance as you become a more proficient mover. Now, there's a cycle of breathing I call riding the wave of the breath. As you inhale, you'll become less flexible. As you exhale, you'll become more flexible. And after your breath out, you'll become the most flexible. Try one of those together before I have to skip on to my next class. Taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right. Thank you to all of you who have participated so far. Those of you who will participate in the future. As always, if you have any questions, send me an email, leave me a comment in the comment section. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Take care of yourself. Until next time.